It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the movies of September 15th, 2000. We got 3 movies to look at today, so let's just go ahead and jump right on into it. We'll start with the biggest new release of the weekend, Jamie Foxx in Bait. Basic story here, Jamie Foxx is the next con used by a police officer, or the police in general, either way, to basically lure a criminal out of hiding. Jamie Foxx is the con man. David Morse is the police officer who's basically at the control of this. And it's interesting. You have some pretty good talent all throughout this movie. I mean, not just in front of the camera, with Jamie Foxx, David Morse, Kimberly Elise, David Paymer, Mike Epps, Robert Pastorelli, Jamie Kennedy, Jeffrey Donovan is in this. But it's co-written by Tony Gilroy, who went on to write the Bourne movies, and it's directed by Antoine Fuqua. It's his second film as a director. And of course, he's made a lot of great movies in his career, and yet this movie is probably one of his worst movies. And this was right after he'd just done The Replacement Killers, and I don't know. Like, this movie really should have been much better. I think Jamie Foxx really is the best thing about the movie in general, but it also doesn't help that the movie also had directors coming in and out. I mean, this thing had reportedly, Steven Surgic, who directed Wayne's World 2 as the original director, but he was eventually replaced by Antoine Fuqua. So this wasn't even his own movie to begin with. So that's probably why this didn't turn out as well. They even wanted the guy who plays David Morse's character here. Originally, they wanted Chris Christopherson, which is very different. I mean, Chris Christopherson and David Morse are clearly two different people, and probably made the right call on him, even though he's not really that great in this. But yeah, the movie overall just really isn't that good. I mean, Jamie Foxx is the only thing that's really carrying it, honestly. It just doesn't have anything in terms of a good story, anything in particular that's really enjoyable. It's just kind of a mediocre film. There's nothing really about it that makes it all that special or anything remotely interesting in the end. And it's a shame, because the talent is there. There's just nothing there to really make me say you should definitely check this one out, because clearly there really isn't, honestly. Not much more to say about that one, so that's Bait. So let's go ahead and move on to our next movie we have here, and that is probably the best overall, not even probably, the best overall movie that came out this weekend. Cameron Crowe's follow-up to Jerry Maguire, and that is, of course, Almost Famous. So the story centers around a young teenage journalist played by Patrick Fugit, who writes for Rolling Stone magazine in the early 1970s, and he's touring around with his fictitious rock band called Stillwater and writing his first cover story on the band. And it's also semi-autobiographical because Crowe himself was a teenage writer with Rolling Stone. And like I said, this is the follow-up for Cameron Crowe after Jerry Maguire. I think this is the last movie he did the first movie he did after Jerry Maguire, I should say. And it's probably one of his best films in general. I mean, it's a really good, really damn good movie. It's a film that has a ton of great talent in front of the camera. I mean, not just Patrick Fugit, but Billy Crudup, Frances McDormand, Kate Hudson in an Oscar-nominated performance. Actually, I don't think did she get nominated for this? Now I'm kind of curious. Let me see here. I could have sworn she did. Yeah, she did get nominated. Her and Frances McDormand. And, yeah, they're both very good in the movie, but you also have Jason Lee, Zooey Deschanel, Anna Paquin, Fairuza Balk, Bijou Phillips, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Jay Baruchel, Rainn Wilson. Just a ton of great talent all throughout this movie, and the film is just so well done. And you have so many great memorable moments to this movie. I mean, everyone wants to have that moment where they're standing on top of a house, getting ready to jump into a pool, and calling themselves a god to pretty much everybody out there, and just jumps into the pool. I mean, who doesn't want to have that moment, honestly? I mean, it's just really, this thing has a lot of great iconic moments to it, and it shows Kate Hudson's potential as a leading actress. I mean, she really is one of the best things about the movie in general. It's a well-made film all around, a really good film all around, and really, there's not much more you can really add to this that hasn't already been said already. It's a really good movie, well done on so many levels. It's a very well-made film. If you have not seen Almost Famous yet, do yourself a favor and see it, because, man, you are missing out on something very special. So, yeah. That's Almost Famous, so let's go ahead and move on to our last movie that we have here, and that is the ensemble comedy, Duets. So as you can tell, this is a musical comedy, and it's a road trip comedy which revolves around the little-known world of karaoke and the whimsical characters who inhabit it. There's the struggling singer who dreams of making it to the big time, a frustrated salesman who ends up on an unexpected road trip, the dysfunctional family performance which includes a con artist and his long-lost daughter, an escaped convict with the voice of an angel, and all roads lead to Omaha, the site of this national karaoke competition where this motley group of singers and stars come together for a blowout sing-off. So, in a way, it's kind of like a prequel. It's kind of like a live-action prequel to his predecessor to something like Sing. Sing kind of had a similar plot to this, and probably has better overall music in general here. But man, the music in here is really good, especially "Cruisin'" by Huey Lewis and Gwyneth Paltrow. I mean, if there's anything you should take away from this movie, that song right there is more than something you need to take away from this movie, because it's really damn good. You should listen to that one on its own. In addition to Gwyneth Paltrow and Huey Lewis, you have Paul Giamatti, Maria Bello, Angie Dickinson, Scott Speedman, and Andre Bauer, rest in peace, who unfortunately passed away in the last week since I recorded this. Unfortunately, the rest of the movie really does not have that spark that really needs to take this movie to something where it becomes a memorable movie in general. I think the only thing you really take away from it is that version of Cruisin', which is an incredible song, like I said before. And, other than that, though, it really doesn't have a whole lot there in terms of the story. There's nothing really good about the characters in general that you really do like about them. It's just kind of unfortunate, because the one thing that really needs to be taken away from this is that song by Huey Lewis and Gwyneth Paltrow. But other than that, though, this feels, you know how Ally McBeal would have those moments in the episode where they would randomly cut away to Vonda Shepard singing at this club? Like, it feels like this movie was entirely based on that purpose and said, let's make an entire movie off of that, which could be fun if you had a good script to work with here, but unfortunately not so much. And it feels like there's so much more that could have been done with this, honestly. And they just really couldn't deliver the mustard at the end of the day. And it's a shame, because there is some potential here overall, but just not enough for me to say that you should definitely check it out. It's unfortunately a major disappointment. But if there's one thing you should take away from it, the song "Cruisin'" by Huey Lewis and Gwyneth Paltrow, seek that song out. You will not be disappointed by that. And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. When we meet next time, we'll take a look at the movies of September 22nd, including the sequel to Urban Legend's Final Cut, the re-release of The Exorcist, the Director's Cut edition, and we also have Women on Top. So 3 movies to look at next time. We'll delve into those on the next episode. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page. Check out our Time About the Christmas special, which is now available for you to watch. I did that a couple days ago. It's basically, we're taking an hour and a half of classic Christmas reviews I've done in the last year and a half, basically, since we are at Christmas week is the time of recording this. So definitely check that out. I'll have a link to that on the next page as well. Also, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So with that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.